Hello, and welcome to another poetry reading with yours truly, Clarence Blank, the Shoebox Poet. Thank you for joining me here. As I said, we are continuing reading Finding Peace Within the Storm, my first published book. Um, this came out in 2019. First poem we're going to read is called Everything. Everything. We lose and we fall. Lost in our own misery and too blind to see the truth. Broken hearted and still reliving those sad memories. Stunned and confused by the pain, we are left to bury our feelings deep within our souls. And from there, we try to learn from our mistakes to rebuild our soul. Teach our ego how to fly and mend this broken heart, heal this tired soul, and everything will be fine in time. Sorry, just making sure it was where I was at. But in this book, we had this, there are sometimes when you feel like you're just losing everything. Everything's just falling apart around you and you don't know how to fix it. You don't know how to put everything back together and you want to figure out how. So that's basically where you feel this. And you got to take the time to rebuild yourself and to learn from your mistakes and learn how to move on. But after a while, it gets redundant, or it's because the things keep on happening, and you try to. Now maybe you need to go on a different path. That's what I'm trying to figure out myself. Going a different way on things because this isn't working. So trying something else. This next poem is called A Father's Tears. Of my flesh and blood, I lost my only son. In a hell of blinding light, blind and lighting with a poison touch. And for this I grieve for such a great loss. My only son, the child that was so much a part of my soul, an innocent man who just found a reason to live. A son that took his first breath in his mother's arm. My son, the one I watched take his last breath in mine. And my son suffers in his short life no more. And a father's heart bleeds for his son. The world will go on, but a father's soul is empty without his son. And the reason why I wrote this is because of so many different situations where you have a child passing, and it was something that I put in here because I felt that it was kind of important to a certain degree on things. And you never know. Well, my light died. I gotta charge it. But you never know how things are going to go in life, and it's just. But it's more along the lines of knowing that a father grieves just as much as the mother does when losing a child. He may not show it in a way, in the way that of expressing those emotions, but they do. They do. This next poem is called Little Footsteps. And I tried to keep these poems together because of what the expression of the meaning at the point in time. Little footsteps, they walk in our footsteps. With every step we take, they follow us around, always under us, always there. And they grow more curious and aware of the world around them. And we hope that we can teach them now, while the world is so new to them. With every step we take them together, growing and learning in a fast-paced world. They manage to keep in step with us until the day comes the children have grown up and they no longer need our love and protection. They take their first steps alone in the world and we let them go. And we hope that they have learned from us when they learn to walk in their own footsteps. Now, the thing of this is like, from one, this is just the passing of the torch from, from parents to children as they grow older, and then they go into walking in their own footsteps in life, and trying to do the best that they can with the things that they have learned along the way, especially from the parents. And so even though their parents may be there to be able to guide them, still being adults, because I mean, you're still leaning on your parents as you get older. Because I mean, there are some things that they experience compared to what you have when it comes to raising your kid, your kids, and just understanding how those things go. I mean, a parent shouldn't overstep their bounds, or a grandparent shouldn't overstep their bounds. Now, the reason why these poems are in here is because when I was writing this book, I reached out to my mother and talked to her and got her opinion on things. And in writing and editing this, this is what was the key things here, because my mom helped me to edit these poems, and or basically the inspiration and trying to figure out how to work on these poems to where um, they basically faced, or they tackle the subject at heart. This next one's called "To Fall in Love." I want something that is out of my reach. No matter how hard I try, it remains out of my grasp. And I can stand it no more. Give it to me. Stop taunting me. What else must I do? And I hate being a fool or play for a fool. I want to be in love and feel her love for me as well. Let's get real here. What must I do to make you understand? Must I cry out in pain because this really hurts? All I want is a straight answer from someone. This is all I ask, to fall in love. And there was a lot of times when I was going through, for me, writing this poem right here, it was like, it kept on, there was a point in my life where I would go on a date, just one date with someone. And it kept on, going from there, one date, one date, one date. And then there was a time when I had 2 dates with the same person, or 2 dates with another person. But it was still kind of, until I met my first, ex-girlfriend, that and then starting having things where you're able to build on as and then to be able to fall in love with somebody, or having a relationship with somebody. Now, and I mean, that was basically why I wrote this poem. It's like, what must I do? And asking the questions of what must I do? People, family, friends, reading and seeking advice about things, and trying to understand what the problem is, or the problem with me was, or the problem with the people I was, it turned out to be. It wasn't me. It was actually the people I was interested in. And it wasn't about lowering my standards. It was more about looking at the people and the places where I was going to be able to meet people. That was the thing. So when I started learning that, okay, that I need to back up, take a step, and look at other places for people, that's when I started having a little bit more success. Uh, this other poem here is called Hidden. I do not know what I am feeling. Is this lust, or could this be real love, or really be love? I simply cannot explain this feeling you've given me when you are near. If this is love, how can you tell? How can you tell how I feel about you, even though you and I barely know each other? How can I tell you something that I'm not even sure of? There is some reason for this. Could this be something I've always feared? An obsession for a woman to whom I can never possess? And what must I do? I guess I must find my way, or find a way, and hide my feelings from her. And then sometimes you go into a relationship, or a situationship, as they call it now, where you meet somebody and you're not really sure whether they have the same feelings for you, or it's just you having those feelings for someone. And that was what I was trying to capture here, because I was trying to understand at that time when I was dating, when I started first going out and dating, because I started dating late in life. It wasn't until I was in my 20s, 2021, before I started going out, if I really went on my first date. So you're trying to figure out So as a man, as a guy, you're trying to figure out, what's the best, course of action here. And a lot of times I said, I met somebody that I like, and just like, I like this person. I mean, they're really cool. They're outgoing. But then, they ghost you, or they don't really want to talk to you, or they don't really explain things to you. So, you're just like, even though you've talked to them a few times before, you end up meeting each other. And a lot of times it was a perception that people had of me when they, talking to me online and then meeting me in person. And they seemed to just, that, maybe there was, two different people. When in actuality, it's just me being me either way. Um, and it was just like, and I did clean my, took shower, shaved, did my best to make myself look, better, or look presentable to somebody. As I said, it was just that perception that somebody had when they met me that I wasn't the perception of the person that they had in mind. Even though you have tons of pictures on there, it's just like really people don't really understand it. Because I mean, I did go out on a date with one girl who said that she didn't want to date a guy who was into sports. And because her ex-husband was into sports, he liked football, and she really didn't, want somebody like that. But you know, she really didn't read my profile because my profile had on there that I like sports, interested in sports and certain things. So it's like when you research it and you don't really see that, or you don't really pay attention, then that's on you, kind of a thing. So, but anyway, the next thing is the darkest day. The darkest second was when you told me that you hated me. The darkest minute was when you tore my picture from your frame. The darkest hour was when you hit me for no reason. The darkest day was when you said goodbye. And in this poem right here, I was just basically looking at the different things that escalated between two people. And for someone, when somebody physically assaults you in a relationship, it's time to leave. Whether it's verbal or physical, you got to go, because it's not worth demeaning yourself any further for that person. Because if they hit you once, they're going to hit you again, no matter whether they say they won't. And it says, between it go, because I've been in relationships, and a couple of relationships where a girl has hit me, and it's just like, it wasn't even out of fun. It's just like, wait a minute, what the hell? So, but, it is what it is. Okay. The next one's called Odd One Out. This will be the last one for tonight. Odd one out, one alone, 3, 2 together, and the others outside looking in. 5 or 4 more reason to walk away. 7, not enough to love to go around. 9, too many lives to change. 11, why'd I waste my time on her? 13, I am the odd one out in this place. And there's so many different things when you look at this. What this poem is basically what I was talking about, saying how you feel like a fifth wheel in a lot of situations. You're being invited out with your friends, and all your friends are either married or dating, engaged, and married, but you don't have anybody. So you're just the fifth wheel a lot of times in the situation, and that's what was happening. It was just how it was. But you tend to grow and you learn from things, and then there are points when in your life when you end up being alone because you're the only person now, because all your friends are married, dating, moved, and married and moved. So it is what it is. So check out my friends in the description. Energetix portraits and her portraits that she created. That right there of the Betty Page. She does all kinds of, and so if you like TV series, certain characters and stuff from those TV series, or actors or actresses, she can draw them for you, or even family portraits if necessary. Definitely support the Spine Bookshop. They're looking to move, so definitely go. There's GoFundMe's in the link in the description, and definitely check out the podcast. I will be on there on June 2nd, so she will be Lindsay will be interviewing me. This Sunday I will be at PSV Store. PSV Store in Nashville for public libraries thing that they have in the vendor spot with Arthur's media, food, or media, Arthur, and more. So definitely come and check us out. It'll be from 2 to 6 p.m. up there in Nashville. And then the Bill Peach Festival of Books in Williamson County Library. That will be on June 8th and 9th. So definitely come out and check us out. Check out my friends Simmons and Alberta and their Reiki sessions. The stuff's in the bio. So y'all have a good day. I will see you again hopefully either Saturday or Sunday or something. But either way, be safe, have fun, take care of yourself, and happy Mother's Day.